Hey everybody, and welcome to the Invincible podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends talk all things Invincible, a comic book, an animated series created by Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and Ryan Ottley. I got there in the end.
That was close, man.
I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Sidoti, and I'm joined by my good friends Bill Hake.
Hi.
And TJ Deween. I don't know why I'm using last names today.
When you said Ryan Sidoti, I'm like, are we doing this?
I guess so, and I couldn't stop it, because then if I just said Bill and TJ, it would feel weirder. So... How's it going, guys?
I don't know. It felt pretty weird the whole time.
It did. It was one of those things where I just
got them my social security number as well, or
I got it right here. No, I got to the edge. It's like I was tripping the entire time, and I decided to just keep running with the trip instead of just falling. But I kind of fell. Speaking of falling,
wow!
Yeah,
great segue.
Bill, what happened, man? What happened?
I broke my leg pretty good,
and it's like a nasty break.
Yeah. So it's my fibula, I think it is. That's the outer bone, right, like in your lower leg. About maybe like that far from my ankle.
Couple inches
from my ankle. But yeah, I was on my one wheel and I hit a patch of grass, went up onto some pavement. The wheel spun out and it nosedived, which means accelerate.
Oh.
And then it spun around behind me, took my leg with me, and then I fell back onto my leg and broke it. So
you landed on your own leg?
I landed on my leg with my foot, like my ankle. Like, you know how you roll your ankle outwards?
Yeah.
So that's what my foot looked like, and then I fell back onto my leg.
Was this on the concrete or is this on the grass?
This was on concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew instantly. So, like, I don't know.
I mean, you're riding your one wheel from work. How far are you from home when this happens?
I was maybe 2 or 3 minutes from home.
And you had to walk back?
No. So I broke my leg and I sat there for a second and I was like more mad than anything else. Because I broke my hand, obviously, you know, most people know that, a couple years ago on my longboard. And when you break a bone, it doesn't hurt right away. You just know that something's like your brain goes into this instinctual, like, you broke it, like, look out.
Gonna wreck it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wreck it.
That's what it sounded like.
And so I landed and I was on the ground and I was like, no fucking way did I just break my leg on my stupid fucking one wheel on the bike path. Like, and I was like a minute from work and 5 minutes from home.
Oh, so this was this was going to work, not going home.
I was going back to work because I had a meeting in Batavia. And so anyways, so I'm sitting there and some guy saw it happen on his bike and he rolls up to me. And he was like, "Are you okay, man? Do you need help?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, bro. I just need to sit down for a minute." Like, so I acted like my leg wasn't broken. I tried to stand up. I put a little bit of weight on it, and I felt, because the bone was completely broken, like in half. Like on the X-ray, there's just no the bone was snapped in half.
Yeah. Jesus.
So when I stood up, my ankle, your fibula and your tibula go like this into your ankle, right? Like one on the inside, one on the outside. So the outside bone was detached. So my foot was hanging. I tried to stand on it and I was like, that feels weird, and I could feel it rattling on the inside. Like really weird feeling, alien. So then I sit back down and I lay down on the pavement and I call Liz and I'm like, Liz, she's like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And I was like, I need you to come get me. I'm behind the school on the bike path. I'm pretty sure I just broke my leg. So she came and got me, and then we hobbled together down the path and into the car into urgent care, and then the ER, and they said you need surgery, and I'm like, fuck me.
Less than 24 hours later, surgery.
Yeah, so I broke it Tuesday at 4:00, and then I was in surgery on Wednesday at like 2.
Yeah.
And
was this the kind of surgery that you were awake for?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
I was knocked out.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That was always freaking out.
Have you guys ever gone under before? Have you ever?
Multiple times.
Yep.
Wow, listen, you're like a fucking professional.
Dude,
Did they give you midazolam, which I make it work?
Which TJ makes. That's his job.
So, the first time I've gone.
Wait, is this your first? Oh, okay.
2 times. The first time I had a scope because I was throwing up blood and I had like ulcers and stuff like that. And I remember they wheeled me into the OR, the operation room or whatever it was, and they're like, "All right, start counting down from 10." And I started counting down, and I remember the door that was in front of me started to like warp out, and I'm like, "Whoa, the door's moving," and I was out. And then I remember waking up in bed. This time, this fucking nurse comes up to me. I had the IV in my arm, just the plastic thing, but nothing was attached to it, or so I thought. And she comes, she's like, all right, I'm going to take you into the OR now. And she starts wheeling me, and I don't remember anything after that.
Oh, they tricked you. They didn't tell you?
They didn't tell me.
Oh,
so
that's mean.
I woke up, and it was this nurse like shaking me, like, okay, you got to get up and get dressed. And I'm like, but I'm naked. I don't have any underwear on. And she's like, it's okay, no shame. So I like tried to like hide. Dude, it was like crazy.
I mean, we're gonna move on, but we could talk for hours about stories from coming to and waking up and those kind of. Oh man, I've got stories.
Choice of words.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to ask you about your accident, Bill, is, because I'm sure folks are wondering, what's recovery like? You know.
Way better than in a cast. So I would have rather broken it cleanly like this, even though it's really, really painful, because there's a metal like bar in my leg, and then there's screws obviously attaching it. So all of that's doing all the work. So right now I have like a hard splint on my leg. It's like a cast, pretty much. But this comes off next Monday. So it's been on for 10 days. And then hopefully if everything's healing right, they put me in like a walking boot, like one of those really hard bionicle looking, things that I can take off, shower, like fucking swim. And so,
but are you looking at crutches for a month or two, or longer?
I'm looking at crutches for at least 8 weeks, with no weight at all. And then depending on what they say, then I can start to put a little weight on it, but it's going to hurt. Yeah, man. Bad.
Wow. So, and you can't wait to get back on your one wheel.
Yeah, I'm more mad at it now. I look at it every day and I'm like, you piece of shit. But yeah, I can't. I'm excited to get back on, because I keep telling people, and we'll go off, but it's like people walk down the street and fall and break their leg. You know what I mean? Like, so people are like, oh, you're gonna quit it now? I'm like, no, it was a stupid thing, and I'll probably break another bone. Like, I've gone from not breaking anything to turning 34 and breaking 2 bones in 2 years. So.
Yeah, off to a good start. So we're going to get back into some Invincible stuff here. Remember, we are the Invincible Podcast. If you want to email us to be a part of the show, like a few of you did, you can email us over at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com, or check out our website where there's a contact form over on there, along with some handy reading guides to check out the reading order and where all the other tie-ins and everything fit in. All the episodes listed there. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. If you're watching over on YouTube, give us a like, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe. It always helps. We are also the Oblivion Song Podcast and ChromaCast. Those are two Robert Kirkman, Oblivion Songs, Robert Kirkman, but both of them are Lorenzo De Felici, an amazing Italian artist who put out these books recently, and we did a podcast for both of those when both of those books have ended. If you're checking them out, Chroma will be TJ, isn't there they announced the collection for all of Chroma. I don't know when it comes out. It's probably I think close to like November, or
I think it's November. I'm pretty sure.
Well, all 4 issues are out. It's incredible, oversized issues, unless you're waiting for the collection, but go check those out and listen along to those podcasts. They were a ton of fun to do. Bill, I'm going to kick it over to you. We're going to start off with an email that...
Look how mad TJ is that, like, I've talked so much so far.
You do anyways, but it really is like, it's the Bill show so far. It's the Bill show.
Going from the guy that's like, I want my own segments every day.
Next episode. TJ, so how did you break all 4 limbs? Like, you managed to... Let's talk about this.
All right, so I have one from Gibby. Hey guys, I originally got into Invincible through the show and I loved it. Do they mean the Invincible podcast show or the animated show?
It's got to be the
podcast
show.
Yeah.
No, not the podcast.
Since then, I have read the whole way through Invincible multiple times and have made my way through some of the other comics, including Tech Jacket, amazing, The Astounding Wolfman, fantastic, Guarding the Globe, wow, and Invincible Universe. Hit all of them. Excellent job. I was wondering if there were any specific characters that you wish had their own series. Personally, I think Best Tiger was a super cool character, and I wish we learned more about his origin. The issue where he tricks Insomniac into thinking he killed the Guardians is one of my favorite issues in all of the Invincible comics. Keep up the good work, Gibby.
Yeah, I agree, man. Best Tiger. We've gushed about that character and that issue specifically at length. Even Robert Kirkman has said in interviews that it's one of his favorite characters that he wishes he got to spend more time with. So I wouldn't be surprised if and when Best Tiger shows up in the show, we get a little bit more expanded on his.
Was that written by Kirkman, or was it? I feel like all Invincible Universe wasn't that somebody else?
Invincible Universe, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was.
No. Some of it,
No?
a good amount of Invincible Universe and Guardian of the Globe was not written by Kirkman, but it was co-written. I think he oversaw a lot of the stories.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a situation like that where nothing really. I mean, he probably saw everything before it went out. But I don't think he was the actual writer, but he did write a little bit of Best Tiger in mainline Invincible.
So back to the question at hand, it's unfair that you said Best Tiger, because I remember when we were reading that, we were all like, more Best Tiger. Give us more Best Tiger. But I think
Phil Hester.
Phil Hester.
Good job,
that's
Phil.
Right. Thank you.
Good job, Phil. Fantastic. Fantastic job. Battle Beast. But I think that wish is coming true, you know?
Yeah.
We got a piece of it anyways. It could be like a science dog thing where we get
a little bit here and there.
One thing here and there, but anything more is good. My answer is always Rexplode, but just to change it up, I think it would be cool. The Invincible animated series gave us more than what we got in the comic. And I think it would be cool in a comic form to explore even more of that, and maybe get an
Amber comic.
No, like a prequel to Omni-Man, him coming to Earth. His whole Viltrumite background, him coming to Earth, meeting Debbie, like him trying to train himself to fit in more and be more calm and be more human-like.
Oh my God!
I think that would be cool.
What would be cool about that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say what would be cool about that.
Not to take over.
Right away. Is that the secret would be revealed, and that would be a main point of it. That he's trying to understand it from the perspective of what we know of him taking over and judging their weak points and befriending the Guardians and slowly hating them to a degree, and then ultimately just being maybe they're not so bad, and then you see that slip.
Yeah, it'd be kind of going into episode 1 that this little boy turns out to be Darth Vader. And then you see all those points where it's this leads to this leads to that. And it's we'll be keeping our eye on you. And you're like, oh, that's fucking Palpatine. Yeah.
TJ, and you inspired it by saying that. But how fucking cool would it be if we got a Thetis comic and it was a prequel to, like you said, during the Viltrum War, or not the Viltrum War, or the Viltrumite War, where they're
Lord
killing
Argyle.
Everybody, the war, and it's kind of like a Order 66 thing, right, where he is weak, quote unquote, but escapes and isn't one of the Viltrumites that actually got murdered when he should have, and then how he
kind of like Scourge Virus.
The origin to the Coalition of Planets.
Yeah, the origin to the Coalition, and Thetis' backstory, him as a younger Viltrumite. How cool would that be?
Towards the last third of it, we get introduced to Alan, but he's the younger Alan that's weaker, and before he gets really messed up by Viltrumites.
There is a lot of story there, because you could even go. So it starts on Viltrum. Before they decide to start killing everybody and survival of the fittest.
Oh, you mean before even that?
Yeah, no, like that.
You could have Conquest show up randomly and threat Craig.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Well, like I said before, we know Thetis kills Lord Argyle, and what was the deciding? What was his motivation behind that? That could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
My answer is, I think, like you were saying, I like both of yours. I don't have much new. I always want more Terra. I feel like it was so good what we got, and it was such a tease that it was because she was such a badass character and we skipped through so much of her life that I'd be happy if you just took any part of that. We got to see so much of her as a little kid that I would love even more of that, but all those moments that we fast forwarded through, like her as a young adult, her going away to the academy or whatever it was, her training, like her against her father, her joining the resistance and all that kind of stuff, all that cool stuff, or even stuff later on with her and Ursel. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot more to be told with
I have another idea, and I hope Kirkman's listening to this, or Cory Walker, but wouldn't it be sick? Would you be happy with a one-shot of each of those generations? Like each of those pages?
It's like a
it was just
issue thing, and each one is a time jump?
Not even, just an oversized issue of each of those panels or pages.
Would I be happy? I mean, yeah, of course. I don't think I need that, though, because I already got that in those little bits. I would rather one larger chunk of a story, because then those would have to connect in some way, and I don't know. Again, I'll take it, but yeah. So yeah.
Cool. There we go. Question. Thanks for the email and the question. Yeah.
We're gonna move on now to our Invincible news segment, where we've got quite a bit to talk about here.
We have more emails later, though. So.
Yep.
Shh, TJ, it's the Bill show. You don't get to talk yet.
Oh, I thought I was talking.
No, you can talk.
No, Bill, go ahead. You start.
So, Invincible news.
No, one of the first things, Ryan Ottley has been posting some ridiculous sketch covers. I think it's mostly because he's opened up his online shop, so be sure to check that. He drops a lot of single issues, mostly from like Spider-Man, Hulk, some of the more newer covers and variants and everything like that. But he's been putting some sketch covers up, and I don't know, over on Twitter, and I don't know if these have been made available in his shop yet, or if he's saving them for something, but some of these are absolutely incredible. If you're watching the YouTube version, I'll try and put some over on the side here. But one of them, especially that Adam Eve one, is like stunning. It's one of, like, I think the best sketch covers he's ever done. He's also done some amazing ones like Giant, Talia, Powerplex, really, really great stuff. So I just want to give that a shout out. And obviously, if you're listening to us, you should be following Ryan Ottley over on Twitter or Instagram or wherever he's posting these. I rarely use
TikTok. He's on TikTok.
I was going to say, I rarely
really
use anything
stuff.
else. Is he posting these over on Instagram and TikTok too?
He posts a lot of stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
So not just the sketch covers, but like really fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. One other thing that I noticed recently, and I don't know if we had this date before or if the date changed. I think it might have. But the Invincible Universe compendium, that, one that contains, Invincible Presents, Adam, Eve, and Rexplode, Invincible Universe, all those kind of stories, is listed for June 14th. I think it might have gotten pushed back just a little bit, but still wanted to call that out because by the time you hear us record next month's episode, it will be too late to order it from your local comic shop. So if you're hearing this, you should still have time. FOC hasn't passed yet. Check out that Invincible Universe compendium, because I also telling me this to remember, because I still need to pre-order my copy as well, because I'm very excited about that one. The Invincible action figures, we got new ones, and I have my box right here, so I'm gonna take them out of the box. This is not an unboxing, this is an unpacking. I haven't looked at them yet because I got home and they were here. So some people have already been getting them. TJ, did you order these, Bill?
I did not know. I'm just gonna go to the toy shop down my street, grab them.
I know one buddy of ours already received his.
I don't believe I ordered them. I feel like I probably would have gotten them by now, but I can't remember.
Dude, I'm the same way.
It was
like
so long ago.
With the new Batman Flash stuff coming out, like I forget which ones I ordered, and then they'll show up, and I'm like, oh yeah, no shit. That's right. All right, so we pulled Alan out of the box first.
So we got Alan and Duplicate. Oh, this is pretty cool. I didn't notice from the packaging that they had already released that he comes with his little data pad. He does have a bowl of Canslock, which is pretty great.
And sequids, right?
Yes, and a bunch of sequids. 3 sequids, all the various hands. Another head with an eye kind of in like the... like doing the people's eyebrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like his little data pad and Canslock. And then Duplicate has another head, a little more fierce looking one, and then a bunch of bloody limbs, then just various hands and such.
Which, can the limbs attach?
It looks like they have nubs to attach. Some of them.
Which would be awesome. It's like she has a quarter of an arm and it's all blown off or something. Yeah. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah, excited to pull these out and see what that looks like. Very, very neat. I see
like how the way Alan looks.
Yes. I was gonna
Do
say,
they come
I
with
see
numbers?
It does, guys.
No,
it
it
comes
does.
with
Now we gotta
numbers.
get more.
I'm ordering
How did we
another
miss it?
duplicate.
How did we miss it? How did we miss it?
I'm ordering another duplicate. Look at that. So yeah, there's.
How many?
I was gonna say the one looked like a sticker, and I'm like, is that a sticker? And then I look on the bottom, and you won't be able to see it in the video here, but it goes at least up to 9.
No shit.
Wow.
So there's
I
a
gotta
bunch
have
of
at least
there's a
wow.
bunch of sticker numbers on the bottom of the box.
Wow, that's
Dude,
so
imagine
smart. Because they're gonna make so much money off of duplicate.
You can make so many different like versions of her with all the different gore, all the different hands and faces. That's such a good fucking idea. Oh man, I can't believe they did
this.
it.
I
We
know.
said
did.
that whenever they do duplicate, they have to do that, and they listen to our podcast. They're our
love
biggest
it.
fans.
I haven't seen anybody
we have
say
like-
that,
You're
yet,
welcome.
that anybody
You're
that has
welcome to everybody.
gotten
You made
theirs
this
yet.
happen.
Mike, didn't Mike get him?
Mike got them. I don't know if you opened them yet, but and then there's the sides. Yeah, we're gonna check these out later on, but very, very cool. Those should be shipping out now. So if you pre-ordered yours, hopefully you got a copy. I'm gonna have to get another duplicate. That's exciting. Next up, we have just the announcement over on Twitter that the Invincible animation team have unionized with the Animation Guild. I thought that was worth pointing out. That's a pretty cool announcement and good for them. What you got, Bill?
Is there a writer's strike going on right now?
Yes, there is.
So is
Yeah.
that part of it?
That's not the animation team. That would be the writers. So
yeah,
separate.
the writers.
The animation team unionizing is great for their pay and conditions and everything like that. So that's great.
I think 2 and 3 are already written.
2 and 3 are probably already written, especially if they've done voice work for it.
Right.
Which reminds me of something. Put a pin in that. We got to talk about that. So I feel. Thank you, TJ.
Oh, the
We
pin
haven't
noise.
done that in so
I
long.
remember the last time there was a writer's strike, we got Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the worst movies.
There's a lot of bad stuff that came out of that last writer's strike.
Oh my god!
But regardless, if this writer's strike lasts even a couple months, it will in some way affect Invincible, and it will affect everything that's out there, and for good cause. Like it's they're striking for a reason. So, and if that's what happens, that's what happens. I mean, there are more important things than getting movies and TV shows and everything like that, and people need to be paid what they deserve. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if 2 and 3 go unaffected. So we'll see. That's part of the bonus of them getting ahead, I guess, and having plenty to work on. Let's see. Skybound YouTube channel posted another video with Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and Ryan Ottley. Did you guys check this one out? It was their meme video.
Yep.
They were ranking the Invincible memes. Bill, did you not watch it?
I didn't watch that one. No.
Oh my god, dude, it's so funny. It is
really good.
It's the 3 of them, and they're giving their reactions to popular Invincible related memes. So
I'll say that the majority, if not all of them, that they went over are me. I see a lot of memes, a lot of Invincible memes, and I don't remember seeing any of those.
I've
seen like the pictures. I've seen like the format before of certain memes, but never with that context.
I think I saw the main advertisement for it was like the Omni-Man one that's like twerking pretty much, right? Like it's
which isn't really,
but that wasn't one of them.
That's not really one of them.
Really?
But it's a joke, but yes.
Okay.
But that's not one of like the main memes that they react to. And I'm sure you've seen like the very first one is, Omni-Man up to the car with William and like looking at William. It's like, where's season 2, William?
That one I've seen before.
Yeah, that one I see all the time. But no, it was a fun video. Again, we've talked about these. I'm so glad that they're continuing to put these out. I'm glad that they just sat the 3 of them down and just filmed a bunch of stuff, which is great. And they're just rolling them out. So that's been fun to watch. Similar to that, as we talked about before, like them filming stuff, they filmed a bunch of them playing Fall Guys. The Fall Guys skins are back out. They're available now-ish. If you're hearing this, I'm not sure if they're going to still be available, but hopefully if you missed out the first time around, you grabbed them because that's a fun game and those skins look great.
Skybound just posted codes.
Yeah, Skybound Games.
They're long gone by now, though.
Yeah. But follow them because they've been putting them out every now and then. One thing I wanted to call attention to, even though we won't be able to listen to it because we're recording this before it comes out, but May 3rd, so if you're hearing this, it's already out. Comic Book Resources, CBR, is doing a podcast called Dynamic Duos, where they get two different creators and do like head-to-head interview type things between the two of them. That's just about all I know of it because it hasn't come out yet. But the episode that should be out now is Robert Kirkman with Todd McFarlane. And very excited to listen to that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It actually comes, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, to this episode, it's out right now. So go check it out. As of the date of recording, for us, it comes out tomorrow. So
yeah,
we'll check it out.
Very excited to listen to that. If there's something cool, worthwhile to mention, we'll talk about it on our next episode. But thought it was worth bringing up because, the two of them will undoubtedly have a fun conversation.
I wonder if
they did Hunt together.
They did do Hunt.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to talk about the new Spawn movie. If McFarlane's going to give any news.
And I just had
I bet you he would.
I doubt he would do it there, though.
Oh, yeah, he would. Oh, my God.
You guys don't think McFarlane's involved in the shared universe of Void Ravels, do you?
I bet he is. I
can't even wrap my brain around what the fuck Void Ravels is and why they're already talking about it being like this big universe thing.
I know. I'm excited for it. New comic by Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. Very cool. Excited to talk more about it here. And I will say, did you guys read the previews for it? The first 4 or 5 pages or whatever that came out?
No, I won't.
Isn't it just like illustrations? There's words?
There's words. I did read it. I normally don't. I know, TJ, I'm sorry. I normally don't. But I wanted to know something. Just give me anything. And it's very good. It's very good. I can't wait.
You know what? It looked like, from what I saw, and I don't like to draw this comparison and say that they're like trying to do something that's kind of been done, but it looks like it's going to be kind of saga-y.
Oh,
a little
interesting.
Bit. Like
it actually reminded
the really out there style.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of a mix between like Oblivion Song and Descender. Like it has that kind of like color palette and everything. I know that's probably not exactly accurate. I haven't read Descender in a long time, but
watercolor type.
Yeah, but it's not watercolor. It's just
colored pencils.
Yeah, I don't know.
So good.
Then what I think is some of the biggest news we've gotten in a while. This was a shock. It was yesterday, 2 days ago. They announced the Art of Invincible Season 1 book. This is super cool. I mean, I went back and checked because I could have sworn, and back in December of 2021, we talked a bit about our favorite Invincible merch and some of our dream merch that was coming out, and this was pretty high on my list. Like, this is something that I've really been looking forward to and hoping that they would make. So the fact that this just kind of came out of nowhere was very, very exciting. So I can't wait. I pre-ordered this immediately. I don't know. Is this something you guys are excited to get your hands on?
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's all we talk about is how good the art of the comic is, and obviously how much we loved the art in the show. I literally every time I go into like Best Buy, I always go into that like back section where it has like the art books of different shows and movies, and I look at like Dune and like all these like Christopher Nolan ones, like
the Marvel MCU ones have really nice collections of theirs. And...
yeah, the fact that Invincible is going to be there is awesome.
Yeah,
really, really cool.
Here's a little snippet from the press release. The Art of Invincible Season 1 features exclusive character, background, and vehicle designs, key art, and more. This volume takes fans behind the scenes and includes interviews with key creatives, including Invincible comic creators Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker. And then here's a quote from I forgot the writer's name. I know it. What's that? Mark Sumerak. So let's see. Like many others, Invincible inspired me with its unique visual style, emotionally complex characters, and dynamic world building. So it's been exciting to peek behind the curtain of the show's development through this book. Oh, this was actually the editor over at Skybound Entertainment, Bixie. We've worked closely with the creators to capture the passion and excitement of the creative process as they developed everything from the endearing characters to the gory twists. Right now, Amazon has it listed for October. I've seen a couple things say November, so it's probably going to be November. Just be prepared. I think it was like 30 something, maybe 40.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I think the Amazon listing actually has it for 600 pages. Again, it's probably too early to know for sure that kind of stuff, but I was pulling it up because it did have that. Yeah, $40 on Amazon. No, sorry, 200 pages. 200 pages. Published by Image Comics, and it's saying the publication date is going to be October 10th, but I would expect closer to November. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Again, probably around the time that we'll be seeing season 2, if not.
I think that's almost like a spoiler.
Do you think
when
so?
Does it come out? October?
Some sites are saying October, some are saying November.
I think it has to come out before the show.
I think whenever it comes out is a very clear indication of when we're getting the show.
I mean, you could say that about action figures or, anything else. I don't know.
But I mean, yes, this is like an animated show thing, so.
True. Yeah. So we'll see. Very excited for that. The last bit of Invincible-related news was actually going to be a little bit kind of somewhat of a topic. We want to talk about Science Dog because there's a new issue of Science Dog, or a new story from Science Dog that came out. Image number 12. This is the anthology series that Image is putting out with a bunch of different short stories from several different creators. And we knew back when this anthology series was announced a couple of years ago, I want to say, we knew that Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker were going to be involved. At the time, we had wild theories about whether or not it would be Invincible related, but we didn't know. Eventually, we kind of guessed that maybe it was going to be Science Dog because Science Dog had then become a little bit more, had stories that needed continuing, I should say. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about this, see what you guys thought. But first, I got an email here. This is from Jack, who says, read the new Science Dog in issue 13, or in Image 12, enjoyed it a lot, and that ending was interesting, but I was wondering what the story of previous Science Dog issues was, and was also wondering what you would recommend to get on Free Comic Book Day this weekend. Well, we'll talk about Science Dog in just a second. Free Comic Book Day weekend, pulled up the list for you guys because I wasn't sure which things were coming out. And I mean, first, I would say if you're going into a comic shop on Free Comic Book Day, grab whatever jumps out at you. Try something new, something that might, be of interest to you, but something that you might not be too familiar with. My initial picks would be, looking at this list, I'm a sucker for X-Men and Hickman and everything like that. So the new Free Comic Book Day story with Avengers and X-Men teases the new Jonathan Hickman story. Marvel Voices looks great. The I Am Stan Lee story. Those would probably be my first picks. What about you guys?
I mean, you could theoretically go and get all of these, couldn't you?
I mean, usually shops limit it to like 3 or 4 or something like that. I mean,
okay.
You'd be a butthole.
But if there's 1 or 2, the things that would be interested in you.
I mean, I don't really know. Like, I instinctually, I'd say probably that Star Trek one.
It's a cool cover too.
Yeah, and it has to do with the show Lower Decks.
Does it?
Like where, yeah, from the preview that I read on that. So, which is really good. It's a really fucking good animated show over on. I think it's on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably pick that one up if I had to pick one of them.
TJ, anything you jump out at you?
Yes. So my first thing would be to go toward Fish Flies, because I love Jeff Lemire. He did Sweet Tooth, and I don't know, he did so many good things. So he's awesome. So that would probably be the first one that I would go to.
Yeah.
I love Turtles. Probably pick up the Turtles one.
Yeah, those would be the 2 that I expected you to gravitate
West
towards.
of Sundown looks kind of cool. So yeah, maybe that one too. Check it out.
Very exciting. So Free Comic Book Day, first Saturday in May. That's like tomorrow if you're listening to this on launch day. So very cool. But Science Dog, as for Science Dog, yes, that's the thing with Science Dog. If you just jumped into this, you did just get like a random piece of the story. Science Dog's whole thing is that it kind of always released in random places. With Invincible, it released on the 25 mark. So issue 25, issue 50, and issue 75 of of Invincible included a little story in the back. Those were all collected and finished in a hardcover collection that you can find online. In a really nice hardcover edition. We have an episode of the podcast, an older episode, where we talk all about Science Dog, all about his story in that hardcover, and go into the whole character and his appearances in Invincible and everything like that. This current iteration of Science Dog, after that hardcover story came out, is now on its third part. So this Imaged issue 12 was the third part of the story, unless I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. The first part of that story was on the backside of Oblivion Song 25. Mm-hmm. So it was actually printed upside down if you had the back of the issue. Which, how did they do that digitally again? I don't remember. Was it literally upside down on the file?
I think it was.
No, it wasn't.
But you read it backwards, though, so you had to go all the way to the back, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So,
yeah, because I remember when I was reading, I'm like, something's not right here.
Oblivion Song issue 25, the back of that has the first part of this story, which continues the story of Science Dog saving the world with science. Then the second part of that showed up in Skybound X, I think it was 3? Yeah, Skybound X3, which is similar to the Image Anthology series, where it's the Skybound doing stories, shorter stories that included the like Rick Grimes 2000 and everything like that. And that continued the story for Science Dog. And now this one is the third part. In the previous one, he was trapped in this alternate dimension with this race of beings and left there. And it has been, probably over a year since that issue came out. And now here we are with a few more pages of the next part of that story. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought, like, if you just read that one thing, like, and you thought it was good, then you honestly, you need to go back and read the other stuff, because this was, like, just nothing really happened in it. So the next one, I'm sure, is going to be very, very good.
I mean, yeah.
It did kind of feel like
it is literally 6 pages, so it's not,
It did kind of feel like a continuation, but I thought it was good. I thought I enjoyed it. I liked the story of how they have this ruler that's what's the word? I don't know, controlling them and trying to like keeping them to work for him in order to keep him alive with the minerals and things like that. I enjoyed the story. I think his jumpsuit might be a call to Invincible, maybe. I don't know. Those are pretty exact colors.
Yeah.
So.
Especially when he like pulls it off in that one scene and it's just the pants. I'm like, oh my god, you look like you're Invincible.
I think this will read really well in a collection. I did go back and reread 1 and 2 because I couldn't quite remember what had happened. And you kind of
got to read them together.
Yeah, there is a through line of like Science Dog feeling like an outcast, and he even mentions that he's never kissed anyone. Like he doesn't know love. He hasn't really had that kind of relationship before. And so when he comes to this place, now he finds this partner, and she's, what is it? I wrote it down. Alina is kind of helping him save this planet, this dimension, or wherever it is, from Dr. Morgan. And it's just Science Dog doing Science Dog stuff. And the writing was solid, and I really dig Cory Walker's art in this, and I really love Dave McKeag's colors on it. It's like vibrant, man. It's like
it pops.
It really pops. It looks so good. I wish they would do more together, and hopefully they do, because hopefully we get to see the end of this story. I mean, if it is going to be a 4-part thing like the first one, and then collect it again or something. But yeah, it was fun. It's always nice getting, a pop of Invincible, a pop of Science Dog every year or two. It's just feel good. It's like going back to an old retro video game or something that you know and love. It's like, yeah, these look great. I love it. It's fun. It's easy to enjoy and bite-sized. So yeah, that was Science Dog from Image 12. hopefully we get to see more, and hopefully it's not too long before the next appearance of it, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not in the back of like Battle Beast 25 in 3 years.
I was just gonna say like some other random fucking comic that comes out.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, it's gonna be in the back of Void Rivals 25. Watch. Yeah,
that's a good hot take.
Unless it's part of that universe, it's part of the shared universe, guys. I've got a email here. This one says, "Hello, members of the Invincible podcast. I'm going to keep my questions short but sweet. Did you guys think you were going to cover Destroyer through a legit pool? And if not, was that why you decided to rig it? Still holding out hope for an irredeemable Ant-Man episode. Much love, Owen Sailor. P.S. Mitch and the other #NeverDestroyers will not forget this. Make sure they don't get a hold of the recording, or else this episode is never going to release." So that brings us to Destroyer. All right, so here's the deal. We know there's more Invincible coming up. There's more stuff to talk about. We're going to get the animated series later this year. We want to talk about Destroyer. So we decided, you know what? If we don't get to it, we're just going to talk about it. I don't want to get to the point where we never get a chance to talk about it. What's so funny, TJ?
I have a confession.
Oh no. What'd you do?
So, Mitch is my arch nemesis, right?
Oh my God, what have you done, TJ?
TJ's always rigged it.
What have you done? Is the screen going to go static and Mitch is just going to be laughing and take over?
There is nothing that makes me happier than seeing the frustration of Bill. So Ryan said it. I mean, each account gets a vote, and I have my account and ChromaCast and Circle Guy News and the Oblivion Song podcast, and it's voted against Destroyer this whole time. So
yeah. And there have been some close calls.
You guys had to rig it. I was in the background, trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
But
there have been some really close calls
on this one because you guys cheated, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're here. I was trying to, me and Mitch joined forces on this. Mitch didn't even know, but I was in the background doing some things.
The unexpected alliance.
So here's a prime example of why I think it's important that we do Destroyer, because there are people that we influence, right? That we inspire to read new things. And friend of the podcast, Wyatt Layne, was he texted us and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this book is actually pretty good." And I was like, "No shit. Why are you just reading it now?" And he reminded me that he was waiting until we discussed it to finally pick it up. So did we have to cheat? I don't know, depending on what your definition of cheating is.
It would have won eventually.
Is the word rigged the right word to use? Probably. But I don't care because Destroyer is so fucking good, and Cory Walker's art on this thing.
It also made sense. We're talking about Science Dog, and we're talking it's Cory Walker.
Cory Walker episode.
If you think that Ryan Ottley does gore,
oh my God.
Man. Are we getting into this? Are we going in? Are we dipping our toes?
We're getting into it. So Destroyer, we're finally here. We're talking about it. It's based on a Stan Lee created character from the 1940s. This is an OG character that had his appearances here and there throughout history, and it came back as a Marvel Max imprint, which coincident, funny enough, has a bunch of ads for children and stuff like that in it. But whatever, Marvel Max. Robert Kirkman said when he created it that he wanted to take it on as though Destroyer never ended, that this was essentially issue 701 through 705. He wanted to kind of pick it up as though the character aged through and this is where he is since the 40s. This came out in June of 2009 and ran until October. And I should start with the overview, but I don't have it pulled up, so I'm not going to. So we're just gonna jump right into impressions first. TJ, what did you think of Destroyer? And tell me your history with this book. Is this your first time reading it? What was this?
Yeah, I of course read it when it first came out years ago. It was halfway through Invincible when this dropped. It was I read it back then. I didn't remember much about it other than the fact that I remember loving it. We all loved it. I mean, this is why we talked about we got to do a Destroyer. We got to do Destroyer because it was the no-brainer. It was the one that we were craving to go back to. Rereading it again, I couldn't remember why I loved it so much, but I'm now reminded. Although I don't remember it being as gory as it was. Like, holy shit! Like, literally the very first picture is just tons of gore. It was awesome though. It really feels like that era of Invincible. It feels like that mid Invincible writing. You know what I mean? I can't even put words as to why, but it just does. Cory Walker's art. I'll go as far as to say that I feel like it's on another level in this comic. I feel like it's awesome. I really like it. Like, and again, like the colors are incredible. Who did the colors on this?
Val Staples. They did the colors for this. They did it for a bunch of things in this era. Like I want to say Brit. I want to say this was also the same colors as Brit.
Yeah,
in a few areas.
The story was incredible. You know, the comedic moments were super subtle, and that's what made them so funny. All the characters, his family, just everything. I loved it.
Bill?
Yeah. I feel like first and foremost, I have to talk about the art. And TJ, you said like Cory Walker is on another level with this. I don't think it's been topped, like, to be honest. And no, really, like Destroyer is, in my opinion, Cory Walker at his insanely best. Like the action, oh my god, you know, he had so much fun with these character designs.
Oh, yeah.
That one cyborg girl,
it's like Electronica
or whatever her name is. Like, like you could tell, like the designs are super fun. I don't know, like it's just, there's so much good about it. The writing, like you said, and the characters, like Destroyer himself. What's his name?
Keen Marlowe.
Keen. Like, he's really fucking likable, and
right.
I don't know, as like as an old guy, because he's old. He's at the twilight of his years, and he's not really like a crotchety old man, but he kind of is.
Yeah. It's like a mix between Brit and the guy from Up. You know,
yeah,
like...
no, it is. And he's like the old guy that's like, stay off my yard, but then he can also just fucking annihilate you.
Yeah.
I loved it. I remember when I first read it, like I didn't even really know that much about like the creators, obviously Kirkman, but like Cory Walker, you know what I mean? I didn't really know too much about, because I think at that point I wasn't really too much into. When did this come out during Invincible? What issue?
Oh, that's a good question.
I thought it was like around like
I'm gonna guess 60s.
I'm gonna guess 40s.
Which is,
I think you're right, TJ. I'm gonna look up issue. When did issue 50 come out?
Either way, that's when we started reading issue to issue, right? So
yes,
we like
right
kind
around
of,
that time.
So it wasn't.
Oh, you're right then, Ryan. Because I started reading at 41. You started reading at 48, yeah. So it had to have been 50s or later.
It would have been 60.
Yeah, you're right.
60. Like if I look up 62, so this is around. This is around Conquest, literally May 2009. All right, so part 3 of Conquest came out with issue 1 of Destroyer. So that's where we're at. We know Invincible. We're reading Invincible. We're in like peak Invincible. We know who Cory Walker was, the designer, early artist on Invincible, and so we know this is a new comic by them, but obviously not as invested in Invincible and the creators like we are now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Everybody needs to pick this up and read it right away.
It does have a nice collection. I still only have the floppies, but I do want to get this in the paperback or hardcover. I know there's like some crazy collector's edition out there that I saw a long time ago, but again, I read this when you guys did in 2009 when it came out. Since then, I don't think I've read it again since then. I remembered kind of the gist of it, you know, okay, it was, you know, maybe remembered the heart attack thing. I knew it was kind of like Brit. It was gory. And I think part of me was a little nervous that it was going to be like really edgy or something and have that kind of dated like early 2000s feel. And maybe this wasn't going to hold up or age very well. This was incredible. Like, it is so good. Like, and it really holds up. It, like, you're right, TJ, it does kind of have that that era of Kirkman's writing kind of feel. I love that it just gets real too, with everything with his heart attack and his condition and aging and dealing with, growing old, and
his wife
and everything with Harriet. Yeah. His wife. And, I don't know what it is with Kirkman handling like these relationships and dealing with old age and feeling as though you're not like capable anymore and everything like that. He's done this in a few stories before, in a few characters, but it just, it always hits so hard. And I really, really liked it.
He did a really good job of, so Destroyer Keen, he's on his last leg, like he's gonna die. He has a heart condition. And the doctor at one point he's like, you could drop dead doing a crossword puzzle, like, and you're jumping through fucking like buildings and stuff. So, and he does a good job. Like when you're reading it and after this, you're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, oh, stop. Like,
and there's a few times where he's like catching his breath and you're like, is it now?
Yeah.
Is it happening? Yeah. But no,
but I thought you were gonna, going off of what you said, Bill. I like that he's like, oh, like it's gonna happen anytime. It's gonna happen anytime. And Harriet tells him you need to slow down, and he goes, no, this is actually helping me, because the thing that causes my heart problems is the fact that I constantly have to hold back on these villains, and that's difficult on me to have to hold back. Now I'm not holding back, so it's actually helping me. It's doing good things, and I think that's cool how it kind of pushed it along too.
Yep.
So I love
that was one thing I wrote down a couple notes as I was reading it. Issue 3 starts with him explaining that to Darius, that he's like, no, killing, letting, like, this is relaxing for me, that I finally get to let go and actually finish the job. So his whole mission is finishing the job and like tying up loose ends.
Yeah.
That's
he wants to eliminate all of the threats to his family, and he doesn't want to leave any jokers around it. Imagine if Batman were to be like, all right, I got to go kill every single one of my supervillains because I'm not going to be here to stop him anymore. So he would just go and kill Joker, Two-Face, like the Riddler, all those people, and that's like the story overall.
Yep.
And then, oh man, so
it goes to Scar kidnapping Felicia, Darius putting on the suit, becoming Turret, and everything like that, and that whole thing between like him convincing Darius to give it up, to stop for his daughter's sake, and him being the one that should take the mantle, and him taking the mantle at the end, and that whole evolution of his character was really cool. But yeah, man, everything with Scar and that like 2 pages or whatever it was, or 2 issues of just like the chaos that happens.
Oh my God. So yeah, and spoiler alert, but we're going to talk about it. Like
this is all spoilers.
Rips this guy, his arch nemesis
who ripped off his wife's arm. He Destroyer, in that one scene, he's taking on all of his like henchmen, and they're beating the shit out of him. He overcomes it, and then he's like, all right, you ready to do this to Scar? And he's like, how do you have anything left? He's like, I was just saving it for you, man. Like I let him beat the shit out of me, so I have everything left for you. And the first thing he does is he rips his fucking arm off and shoves it down his own throat. It is so, and it's not like, oh, it doesn't really fit, whatever, go on to the next panel. It's multiple panels of him
pushing it. Yeah.
Ridiculous. This is some of the goriest stuff I've ever read.
And it's so fun. And like, I even love the supernatural death thing at the end. Like, which I forgot about.
So did I. I completely forgot.
I reread this guy's, when we first started talking about like co-creators, because I was like, oh my God, I got to reread Destroyer because I loved it. I forgot about it. I'm like, this is so awesome. Like,
dude, him like killing the Grim Reapers.
Yeah. And
the comedy, like TJ, you mentioned the comedy. It's so funny. Like them being like, oh,
there's no afterlife for us. This is it. He's like, you don't have to kill him. And it's like, the one is like, you realize that if you keep fighting us, we're going to come for someone like what's his wife's Harriet. And then he instantly regrets. He's like, no, I didn't say it. And he runs away, and Destroyer just fucking chases after him. Oh, guys.
We have to work up to this position. We're going to get demoted, like all this kind of stuff. It was so funny.
I thought that was such a unique ending, too. Like, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I was like, does he die in the end? I think he dies. He's got to die in the end, right? And for it to end with him just, like, being a grandfather, like, it's him, like, doing, like, the most grandfather thing, sitting, yelling, oh, pay attention to your mother, or listen to your mother, like, it's just him. Like, he's got his life. He's living what's left of it now as a grandfather. So good, man. So good. But dude, I also wrote down the line, "Let loose the hordes of horde."
Yeah.
Dude, it was really funny.
There was one thing, and Ryan, I know that you posted on Twitter that you were looking for like Invincible Easter eggs. There's one that I saw that is
I got 2.
Super prominent.
I got 2.
I also have 2. I wonder if
they have to be the same ones. I don't think there's more than this. So the first one in issue 1, right? Darius is cooking on the grill.
Oh, I got a good one.
His apron is the Viltrumite logo.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
the obvious one, the book, right?
The book. Oh, so cool. Right. This was this
man,
issue? Oh yeah, the first page of issue 5. I think it was first page. Keen is in bed reading Savage Planet, Savage Beasts, one of Nolan's books. That's so cool. Come on.
Yeah, that's
I saw that right away.
There's a third, TJ.
Yeah, dude. And it's a fucking good one. You're going to love this.
What? I think I missed it. What do you got?
If you go to the page where he's beating the shit out of what's his name?
Scar.
So beating 3. The shit out of him. It's a full page.
I got it.
And there's 4 panels of him beating him up. And it just shows him bloody 4 panels straight down.
Oh my god, you're right. How did I miss that?
It is pose for pose. How did I miss
that?
It's pose for pose. It's
It's Angstrom. Yeah.
It's Angstrom, and it's literally every pose is the exact same pose.
Did you pull it up to see? Because it's very similar.
Dude,
when you're reading it, and
I'll put it up on the screen, TJ.
Invincible, you're like, oh, it's obviously like a little nod to Angstrom getting his head pummeled in.
The page layout isn't the same, but the pose is exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Dope stuff, man. I really, really enjoyed this. I mean, it's one of those things it's a little unfortunate. I mean, I think it was really creative what Kirkman was able to do with this classic Marvel character. It is a little unfortunate that there's so much unique, I think, in this that isn't like between Cory Walker's designs and new characters that they created, the family and everything like that, that it belongs to Marvel, that it is not owned by them. Because this could have easily grown, expanded into more stories. But for what it is, it's such a cool little story that he was able to tell, and it is really well cleaned up and kept. So yeah, I'm really glad we got to finally read it. Sorry everybody that didn't want to. Just
Tektronica.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
She has rectangular nipples.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Him dying in bed, all white, the Reapers. I mean, next time bring 10.
Don't bring 4, bring 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turret wearing the Destroyer costume at the end. I really, really dug it. I thought it was a ton of fun. So hopefully everyone listening got a chance to check it out. And if you didn't, hopefully this inspires you to go check it out, because like you guys were saying, is this some of the best stuff Cory Walker's ever done. And it's solid Kirkman writing. If you know his writing, then you're going to really enjoy this. And the gore is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Darius crawls inside the guy's eye, that monster's eye. Like,
while he's alive and he's begging him to get out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Too much.
Too much.
Yeah. So yeah, TJ, you got an email for us.
Oh,
take that for me.
I do indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it here. It's from our good buddy, Frank Silva.
Mm-hmm.
He says, hey guys, I hope you're doing great. I wanted to say hi and congratulations on finally getting to talk about Destroyer. Can't say I voted for it, but I read it and I loved it. Your Chroma episodes with Wyatt were also a blast. I also heard you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I hope to see you guys there. Your friend in Florida, Frank. We are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm actually going to be in Florida twice in the fall, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Nice.
But yeah, San Diego is going to be a blast. It's going to be our first time at the big show. We're from the East Coast, so we've never, it's been more difficult for us to get out there. Plus, it's like San Diego Comic-Con, so yeah, super pumped that we're going to be there. So yeah, if you're going,
definitely hit us up.
Let us know, Frank Silva. let us know. We'll definitely make a point to catch up with you there, and anyone else that reaches out.
God, TJ, you might know this more than Bill or I. How long before conventions do they typically announce panels?
A couple months. It'll probably be soon. It'll probably be
we're getting
like
soon, man. You think before we record the next episode?
June. It'll be like right there, I bet.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm predicting probably like mid-June.
Yeah. Okay. That's close. That's only a month before.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully we get something Skybound or Invincible panel related. That'd be very, very great to get to go. All right. I have an email here. This is from our friend Luke. Hello, Bill, Ryan, and the sweet one.
Oh, it's a sweet one.
I have a few things to say.
Down the canister.
Luke says, I have a few things to say. 1, I remember reading Destroyer and thinking it was great. If you ask me what it's about, I can't remember. I know it started at an issue late in the run, like number 883. Not really, but kind of. The hero is old, but has one more fight left in him, and his heart does not give out. So yeah, you kind of remember things. I also remember thinking this would be a great vehicle for Sylvester Stallone, but then he went and did Samaritan, which Amazon Prime show. I had to look at or a movie. I haven't seen it, but it came out this last year. Amazon Prime original. It's Sylvester Stallone as a superhero or something. So it might have a similar concept. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Should I watch it? Luke, let me know. Number 2, I want to thank Mitch for finally making Destroyer episode happen. Yeah, we can all thank Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. This is because of you. Number 3, when it comes to Invincible, I have a question for you guys and the fans of the show. What is one of your favorite moments in the comic? Everyone watching or listening to the show, I encourage you to share your favorite moment in the comments or email it in. That's cool. I like hearing it. We always love hearing everybody's favorite. Love your show, guys. My number 1 favorite podcast in the universe. Best, Luke. You are the best, Luke. Thank you, man. Favorite
moment.
One of your favorite moments.
I know mine.
He specifically says one of your favorite moments. So no pressure. So this is not your number 1. It doesn't even have to be your number 3.
Mine. I have mine.
I'm gonna try and go off of not keep it Rexplode or Conquest related.
I'm going to go with mine.
I'll come up with a random one here.
So my favorite, and I've said it a million times, is when Dinosaurus goes and breaks out Mark from the moon, like the Viltrum base, and fights Thrag. And it's almost like heart-wrenching, like what he goes through, because he's like this villain that goes through this major arc, and he's so stupid, and he has this amazing redeeming part. And he just gets annihilated by Thrag. Like he goes to slice up, his fingers break. He goes to bite Thrag, his teeth breaks, and then Thrag breaks his jaw. And then he even still, like, he's talking to Thrag like, this was part of my plan. And like everything's set to his heart rate. That is one. It always, whenever anyone talks about like Invincible and their favorite parts, that always comes back to me. I fucking love that part.
TJ, do you want to go? It's hard because so many are flooding my mind.
The thing is, it's like, no, that's too obvious. That one's too obvious.
Here's one.
That one's too obvious. Like the answer is Angstrom Levy putting Mark through all the dimensions. The second answer is, for me, Rexplode versus King Lizard, like, or Komodo Dragon. Like, oh my god, like
that's in my top 5 too. The Rexplode Komodo Dragon.
That might be my number 1, I think. No, it's my number 2. Like,
that's when he gets shot in the head, right?
Yeah. Dude.
Oh yeah, that was a good fucking part
season
too.
Season 2, it's
so
coming.
Good.
It's coming.
Yeah.
People are gonna cry.
It's gonna be great, man. Obviously, Conquest comes to mind. Terra in that last issue, standing in the Coliseum, comes to mind. Powerplex comes to mind. But thinking something different. So like we're saying here, some of our favorite moments that are maybe lesser known. I love issue 109. 109, when Mark is stranded in Mohawk Mark's dimension, and he has to work with Rudy, with Robot, and the Mahler twins to kind of like transfer his intelligence into another version. Like he clones himself. We get Anissa throwing baby Monster Go. It's such a off-the-wall, crazy issue that has so much like world building that could be a whole arc. Like we could have gotten like Reboot with just Mark in that dimension and all the backwards crazy stuff that happens in it. And I just love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. It's so rewarding.
When you started talking and you were like, oh, like what? And then an issue popped into my mind that I wanted to bring up, and I thought you were going to take it. You said 109. For me, 108.
Dude,
all the Angstrom stuff leading up to 108,
yes.
like Angstrom like reading the newspaper and seeing that Invincible is alive. That was a couple issues before that, but like leading up to that dimension and the death of Angstrom, which is fucking brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
Love all that.
Yeah.
That's a good moment.
Yeah, good stuff. Send us some of your thoughts, some of your favorite moments from Invincible. But otherwise, is there anything else we want to touch on? Because we're going to wrap up this episode here. TJ, I wanted to give you a chance. Did you want to, we normally talk about some other stuff at the end of the episode, any movies, shows, video games, anything like that we've been watching or gotten into lately.
Or reading.
Oh my God, TJ. But I do want to ask you though, what did you think of Renfield?
I did see Renfield.
Robert Kirkman's name in a movie theater.
It is officially out on Amazon to Prime.
That's right. As of like
to buy or rent. Yep.
You know, it's been getting really mixed reviews, and I've been hearing a lot of negative things about it. But swear to God, not being biased because we do Invincible podcasts or because we've talked to Kirkman, but I really did enjoy it. I wasn't going into this expecting it to be like incredible. I thought expecting it to like take it seriously. It's a comedy, right? I thought Nicolas Cage was hilarious. I thought he was really, really funny.
Don't you hate Nicolas Cage?
I don't. What I've always said about Nicolas Cage is I don't like him as an actor, but I've liked pretty much every movie he's ever been in. Like, I don't know. I don't know why, but yes, like he's great in this. Like he's super funny because he's got like this, like, I don't want to say too much, but his demeanor is like, it's funny. Nicholas Hoult I like anything Nicholas Hoult is in. I think he's awesome too. Like, I thought it was a solid comedy movie. And there's one thing that surprised me. I'm just going to say it. The action is incredible. Yeah. The action was like I had just seen John Wick 4 the day before watching this, and it's not on that level, but like,
really?
It's not on that level. But
overall, you recommend it?
Absolutely. Again, I'm not being biased. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Cool. All right.
I think the audience score is pretty obvious. Like like audience. I think
50,
on Rotten Tomatoes,
it's one of those things where audience like it, critics.
No way. It's not that low. I thought it was way higher than that. The audience score.
Right now?
Yeah.
I will say this. I also had a great theater experience because everybody in the theater, and there were a good amount of people in there. Everybody was laughing together. Everybody was enjoying it together. It was a really good experience.
I wonder, Bill, whenever you see it, whether it's in the theater or if the three of us watch it or something like that in person, like I think it'd be a fun thing to watch together then. Because you're right, TJ. Yeah. This might be a movie where the company helps make it. So yeah, that'd be something to consider. Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening in. We'll be back next month with another episode of the Invincible Podcast, talking about the latest news and everything Invincible related. Be sure to send us your emails over at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again to our good friend Wyatt Layne, who supplied the music for this episode. You should be hearing it now and in the intro. You can find his music over on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, all the good stuff.
SoundCloud.
That's right.
Yep.
Thank you all, and we'll be seeing you next month.
Be around.
Be around.
Right on.
Bye now.
Goodbye.
Bye.